students, how are you all? Today I'm going to teach you about C++, and keep in mind it is just an introduction. Welcome you all to Bhaskar tutorial. So let's begin. Before going in this chapter, we have to know some of the basic things about C++. Like what is C++, where it was developed, who developed, and when it was developed, and what is the main purpose of C++. So let's see here. This C++ was developed by Bizrain Strustop in 1979, and it was developed in New Jersey at Bell Lab. Okay, or it was known also AT&T Lab. And keep in mind, it is just an extension of C programming language. Before C++, there was C programming language, and C programming language used to do all the works. So now this C++ was developed with a joint feature like high level language and low level language. In C++ we have the combination of the two languages, not your mother language. Okay, it is known as high level language HLL or low level language. Next, you see it is a cache sensitive and general purpose free from programming. Okay, and most important, it is object oriented and generic programming. So let's see what are the purpose of C++. So it is used for research and training, and also C++ is used for developing many more software. Okay, so keep in mind it is used for developing different software for various purpose. You see, next there is OOP, that is object oriented programming. It is well defined here. So the main purpose of object oriented programming is to create an object in code. Okay, keep in mind, to create an object in code, and this code have certain properties and method for creating. Okay, so this object oriented programming had some principles through which we can create any object via code or in code. Let's see some of the principle of object oriented programming. It is known as encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. So let's see what is encapsulation. So it is placing the data and functions that work on the data in the same place. So this encapsulation work in placing the data, okay, and it functions that work on the data in the exact place. Second, you see inheritance. It means it is the most useful aspect of object oriented programming in code. Okay, so this inheritance is the most important factor. Basically all are the important factor, but keeping in mind inheritance is the most important factor for object oriented programming in reusability. So you see, as the name suggests, inheritance is the process of forming a new class from an existing class, that is from the existing class called the base class. That means you will form a new class from the existing class, and that is known as the base class, or new class is formed as derived class. And this feature helps to reduce code. So inheritance, I already told you, it is very important. So it helps to reduce the code of object oriented programming. Next, you see polymorphism. So it is the ability to use an operator in different way, in other words, given different meaning to the operator. Okay, is called polymorphism. So polymorphism means the words. Okay, you see, it is just ability to use the words in different given methods. So next method is abstraction. You see the abstraction. Data abstract refer to providing only essential information to the outside world and hiding the background details. I have marked here. It hides the abstraction means hiding the background details. It works. Okay. So let's see next. Next you see what is a compiler in C++. So the main work of compiler is to transfer programming language into a binary language or computer language. That means compiler helps us to transfer human language into computer language. Okay, and the computer language is known as 0 and 1 or binary language. So here are some of the compilers of different operating systems. In Windows, you see Turbo C++, Microsoft Visual C++, Oracle C++, and in Linux, you see G++ are the different compilers of different OS. So in C++, we need a programming structure. Without a structure, we cannot do the coding. Okay, or it will be an error. So at first we need documentation, preprocessor statement, global declaration, the main function, and the user defined function. So you can take the screenshot if required. Okay, the programming structure, else I will give you very easiest one. You see here, this is the programming structure of C++. Okay, and I have described here all the things very clearly. So it is just a comments. Okay, it's a comment, the file name or the simple program. Here you can type whatever you want. So in the comments you can type whatever you want. Okay, but there must be double slash. And second, you see it comes in hashtag include IO stream. It comes, and this IO stream must be inside the greater and smaller sign. It is known as the preprocessor directives. Void main is the function's name, and whatever we do work or the coding inside the curly bracket is known as variable definition. Okay, and the ending must also be in the curly bracket. That means the curly bracket must be closed. Okay, so you just have a look very clearly all the structure. Next, let's see the tokens of C++. So basically token is a small building block. Okay, it's very easy to understand. A small building block is known as the token, and it works in individual word and punctuation. So individual word and punctuation can be referred as the tokens. And here are some of the tokens which have been categorized in different types. So string, keyword, constant, operators, and identifier are the different type of tokens. So let's see in briefly what is string. So it is a character object whichever signifies in sequence. Okay, object which signifies sequence of character is known as string. So in sequence means in a systematic way, whatever the object are there, it must be in a systematic way. And there is next keyword. So you see, it is a reserved word with a fixed meaning. So keyword has a fixed meaning to perform an internal operation, and it support more than 64 keywords. Okay, and here are some of the keywords I have given you: auto, double, int, struct, break, else, switch, long, like if will be there, while, long, do, sort, union, return, for, class, catch. There are many more. In total we have to know that 64 keywords are there. Next you see constant. So by the word you must know what is constant. So it is an identifier, and the value constant means fixed. So the value of the constant is always fixed whenever we execute any program. Okay, so you see constant are divided into various categories again, like numeric and character constant. Okay, and this numeric, you must know what is numeric and character. Numeric means number, character means the alphabets. So in numeric you see there are integers constant and real constant. Numeric constant is divided into integer and real. In the integer you see I have just given you 10, 11, 12, whatever you can give, 10, 0 and minus 20. Okay, so it comes in 0 and minus also, integers. And in real constant you see just the number as like the integer constant, like I have given you here 786, 0.0 and minus 12 point. So in this real it comes decimal also. Just these things you have to know. And character constant, let's see now. Character constants are divided into two: string character constant and single character constant. Now how you will know that whatever is string or single? It's very easy to know that single and string. You see I have given double quote and single quote, okay, in both. So string, whichever are in single quote, that are known as single character, and whatever are in double quote is known as single character string. And single quote means string character constant, sorry, in string character constant, and double quotes are single character constant. Okay, so these are the constant types which have been categorized in different ways. Next let's see the operators. So what is operators? It's a symbol which is used to perform various mathematical or logical manipulation. It's very easy to understand, like arithmetic operator. You know that arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical, bitwise operator, and assignment operator. So in the arithmetic you see all the mathematical term, okay, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, it comes into arithmetic. And you see there is double plus, okay, and I just left out here unary operator. Here I did not give, so do remember unary operator. So there are basically operators, okay, unary operator, binary operator, and ternary operators. So under that only it has been classified into different ways. So basically unary operator and ternary operator are single, it does not have any different branch. But binary, you see there are various binary operators, okay. You see here in binary, arithmetic, relational, you see here that in relational what all the signs are there, and in logical all the things are in double, okay, and there is exclamatory sign. and in bitwise you see it, there is parenthesis and many more, and in assignment operator. Just have a look and keep in note, or you can screenshot this very clearly, and later on you can write in your note. So let's see next, identifier. What is the identifier? So it is just a name. Identifier is just a name which is given to different entries like variable, structure and functions. Okay, it is a name given to different entries like variable, structure and function. And one thing you have to keep in mind, that the name of the identifier must be unique. It should not be similar. Okay, the name of the identifier must be unique. It should not be similar. So next you see data type. So let's see very briefly what is data type. It is a keyword used for identifying types of data used for storing the input of the program into the RAM by allocating sufficient amount of memory space in the main memory of the computer. It's very easy to know. So it is what? The main purpose, the main purpose of the data type is used to store any program into the RAM, okay, by keeping sufficient memory into the main memory. So you all know that RAM is the main memory of a computer system. So you see the various data types. Okay, so data type have been classified into three different forms. You keep in mind, you see here, these are the three different data types, and they are derived data types, building in data type and user defined data type. Now at first I will define you the building in data type. So this building in data type has been again classified into three different types, that are integral type, void and floating type. And now you see integral and the floating types have been classified into different forms. Okay, now integer are into different, that is integer and character. Okay, and floating data type is in floating and double. So just keep this sequence in mind, or you can make note by keeping the screenshot. And you see here, this derived data type is also divided into how many types? Three types, that is array, function and pointer. Derived data type, and the user defined data type is also divided into three different forms, that is structure, union and enum. Okay, so these are the data types. Basically there are three data types, and that three data types have been classified into different parts again. Let's see variables. So you have to know that constant and variable. So constant means fixed, and variable the data which is not fixed, which the value can be changed. Okay, so here also it is the same thing, variable whose value can be changed at the time of executing a program. Okay, so these variables, whatever number we give in the variable, it can be changed at the time of execution, but the constant cannot be changed. The only two difference. And this variable are, here is the example, integer number I gave here 20, you can give anyone. So variable has been categorized into different types like int, char, boot, double and float. So int, that means integer, keep in mind. it holds integer value and character holds character value. Integer means you know that integers like numbers. So characters, these are the characters, single characters I gave you. So both, that is known as boolean value. Okay, boolean value. So it defines any statement true or false and nothing else. And in double variable, you see, it hold double precision floating points value. So it does not have any single, it has always double. Okay, double value. And next and the last you see float, that is floating. So it holds single processing floating point. So it's very easy to know that integers is for only integers, the number, characters for character, abcd whatever you give, both is for true either false, and double hold double floating points, and float have single floating point. Next, so what is variable, and the types of variable we know, but where it works. So the scope of variables you see. So I have given it very clearly the variables where to put. Okay. So you see these variables I gave here in double slash code. Okay. So whatever is in curly bracket is called known as variable. Okay. Inside the curly bracket, just keep in mind. And this variable have been classified into different types, and they are global variable and local variables. So let's see more clearly what is global variable. A variable which is declared outside of any function is called global variable. So I could not show you in C++ programming. For that purpose I gave you in this, or I have shown in this video, the examples of global variables. So you see here I just gave an example. Okay, now here you have to keep in mind integer global 3. Okay, and what it will count, integer global 3 and global 6. So now you see, just keep in mind and see this, whichever is declared or whichever is outside any function, okay, is known as global variable. So whenever you do this programming, you will show the result 3 and 6 because these are outside. Okay, this 6 and this 3, you see it is not in the programming. Okay, next let's see the global variables. So what you have learned about, in the global variable it is outside, but in the local variable it will be inside. Okay, so it will be inside the curly bracket. Okay, so you see here I gave here example. In this curly bracket, inside the curly bracket it is. Okay, so what is the integer value of this age? It is 18. So it is inside the curly bracket. Okay, and what it is telling you to count. Okay, so it is telling us to count the age. So whenever you will run this program in C++, then you will get age is 18. Okay, it is already shown here that it will be count age. So the integer is 18. So it is very easy to know. Thank you very much